In this video I will show the best spear build. It has insane damage and mobility, it has a lot of armor and health to tank any hits, and most importantly, it has incredible focus gain. This is the Dash Piercing Spear Knight build. Why Dash? Because it has two of the most powerful dash runes in the entire game. I will show the full gear, stats and runes at the end of the Crucible run. I will also talk a bit on how can you improve this build even more. So let's get started. Now let's start with the main weapon, the Coral Piercer. Firstly, you can get this weapon by crafting it. You can buy the recipe from the vendor Whitaker for around 3 silver. Keep in mind that in order to get this recipe, you need to upgrade his shop to at least level 3. After that, you can go to the anvil near the blacksmith where you can craft it. To have the anvil, you also need to upgrade the blacksmith to level 2. After you craft the weapon, you can enchant it at Eleanor, and I recommend you try to get at least 2 of these stats on it, focus gain on damage dealt and damage increased. I've tested the weapon with different element damage like cold or plague, and you can do more elemental based damage, I mean with normal attacks, but if you use the weapon's rune, the one that comes with the weapon, the lightning dash, it won't give you any increased damage from the elements, only from the damage dealt stat. And as you can see, it deals huge amount of damage. With this in mind, I have also added a gem that also increases the damage even more. I was very lucky with this gem as I got a maximum of 15%. I do have better spears that give me 4% focus on damage dealt and gain health on damage dealt, but I've only got a 7% damage increase from the gem, so I'm using this spear as it has more damage. Now for the runes. The lightning dash is amazing. It probably has the highest damage I've seen on a one-handed weapon in the entire game, but it does have a small problem. It's only one attack, one single dash, and no matter how much focus gain I add on my overall gear, using this rune will deplete my focus really fast. So with that in mind, I needed another way to have a consistent and fast way to battle bosses. And so enter the Twirl Dash. This rune doesn't do as much damage in comparison to the lightning dash, but it spins and hits multiple times in one single attack. Most importantly, the spin attack regenerates the entire focus bar in an instant. This rune is a boss killer, as not only does it regenerate all of your focus back, it also has a very good health gain on damage dealt. Basically, it steals a lot of life. With a combination of both dash runes, or just using the twirl dashes, you can kill the boss in less than 30 seconds, as you can see in this video. The twirl dash rune I got it from the scimitar weapon. It's a random drop throughout the game, but it's quite a common drop. I actually got a few of them. Now, before I move on to the other gear, I just want to mention that I got a horrible penalty on my weapon. The health decrease. Because of this amazing gem and the overall damage I managed to get on it, I can ignore it. But I would recommend you try to keep enchanting it until you get a weapon that doesn't give you a penalty to health, stamina or focus. Now, the spear is a one-handed weapon, so in the other hand I'm using a torch. For the torch, the important stats to roll are the focus and health gain on damage dealt. As you can also see, I have damage dealt on the torch, but this will not contribute to the overall damage. It's basically a useless stat on this torch. I would also recommend you try to roll an indestructible stat, as the torch will burn and when it reaches 0, it will stop giving you any of its bonuses. You can however use a repair rune on it, but I would recommend you try to have as many rune slots for other things. Finally, I added a focus gain on damage dealt on it, which will increase my focus gain even more. Now, how can you get this torch? Well, you get it from Whitaker's shop. It's quite cheap, so you can buy them in mass and keep enchanting them. Now, for the rest of the gear, I try to focus on a few stats. That is the poise increase, stamina increase and equip load. The helmet and body armor are drops from enemies, but to get similar stats that I have in this video, I recommend you buy the heaviest armor from the blacksmith and keep enchanting it until you get these stats. Let's start with the helmet. The important stats here are the poise and stamina. I also added a focus gain to increase my focus even more, but lately I discovered that this doesn't really work. In the last patch, the focus on damage dealt works, but the overall focus gain is broken. They nerf it so much to a point it doesn't work anymore. So you can try to equip a different gem on it. For the body armor, I got equip load, poise and stamina. Now for the gem, I use a focus increased, that increases my overall focus even more. Then we have the gloves, where I roll equip load, poise and again stamina. I added an armor rune on it to increase my armor even more. For the pants, I got poise increase and most important, I managed to get a gem that gives me 14 focus on focus use. The maximum you can get on this gem is 15. I do have better pants that gives me poise, stamina and equip load, but I roll really bad gems on them, so I went with this one. For the rings, I have 3 fierce rings that give me armor and bonus damage. In my opinion, this is the best rings in the entire game. Now, from my previous video, in the comments I saw people saying that these rings don't work and they only give armor, not damage. I did tested multiple rings like the rune rings and the broken promise rings, and still, for me, the fierce rings give me the most amount of damage by far, plus armor. To farm the rings, you can go to the merchant Greenwich, as he usually sells rings. If he doesn't have any, create multiple realms and keep going to him until you find some. If you upgrade his shop in every realm, the chances of getting rings are higher. Greenwich is also the fastest way to find rare materials for crafting gear. Now for the stats, I'm using 30 in health. This together with the armor is enough to tank any enemies. Then 26 in intelligence and 26 in fate to use the spear. I then added 26 in focus to give me more focus to use the dash runes. And finally 29 in equip load to put me into the normal weight class. Considering I'm wearing the heaviest armor in the game, this is a huge boost in my mobility. Also, as you can see from the entire gear, without any potions I have 50 poise, the maximum current poise that you can get in the entire game. This is very important if you want to reduce the stagger from the enemy attacks. And that's it! A spear build that deals huge amount of damage and with great mobility. This is probably the best spear build I've done so far, but I think you can make it even stronger if you can roll a health gain on damage dealt on the spear. The current build has a decent amount of lifesteal from the torch, but if you can get an enchant with more health gain on damage dealt, it will probably make this even stronger in the survivability department. The game is still in early access and things might change with future patches. The developers recently announced that they will give us a respec options for the stats in the next patches, so we don't have to keep leveling new characters to try new builds. I really cannot wait for that. If you like this video, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I wish you a wicked journey.